The Gandhara Civilization, flourishing from around 1500 BCE to the 11th century CE, was a remarkable cultural and historical entity located in the region that today spans parts of modern-day Pakistan and Afghanistan. Known for its unique blend of indigenous traditions and foreign influences, Gandhara served as a crossroads of cultures, religions, and trade routes. This civilization is particularly renowned for its contributions to art, religion, and governance, as well as its role in facilitating cultural exchanges between the East and the West. Below is a detailed exploration of the Gandhara civilization, covering its government, religion, culture, language, trade and commerce, art, and farming practices. The political landscape of Gandhara evolved significantly over its long history, shaped by various ruling dynasties and external influences. In its early phases, Gandhara was part of the Vedic civilization, with tribal chieftains and small kingdoms governing the region. By the 6th century BCE, it became a part of the Achaemenid Empire under Darius I, which introduced Persian administrative practices and centralized governance. Later, Gandhara fell under the control of Alexander the Great in 326 BCE, marking the beginning of Hellenistic influence in the region. After Alexander's departure, the Mauryan Empire, under Emperor Ashoka, incorporated Gandhara into its vast domain. Ashoka's reign brought significant administrative reforms, including the establishment of a bureaucracy and the promotion of Buddhism. The region subsequently saw the rise of the Indo-Greek, Kushan, and Gupta empires, each leaving its mark on Gandhara's governance. The Kushan Empire, in particular, played a pivotal role in shaping Gandhara's political and cultural identity. Under Kanishka the Great, Gandhara became a center of Buddhist learning and art, with a well-organized administrative system that facilitated trade and cultural exchange. Gandhara's religious landscape was diverse and dynamic, reflecting its position as a cultural melting pot. In its early Vedic phase, the region practiced Hinduism, with rituals and sacrifices centered around deities like Indra and Agni. However, the advent of Buddhism in the 5th century BCE transformed Gandhara into a major center of Buddhist thought and practice. Under Ashoka's patronage, Buddhism flourished, and Gandhara became a hub for Buddhist missionaries and scholars. The region's strategic location along the Silk Road facilitated the spread of Buddhism to Central Asia and China. Gandhara is particularly famous for its role in the development of Mahayana Buddhism, which emphasized the worship of bodhisattvas and the concept of universal salvation. In addition to Buddhism, Gandhara was home to Zoroastrianism, brought by the Achaemenids, and later, Hinduism and Greek polytheism under the Indo-Greeks. The Kushan period saw a syncretic blend of these religious traditions, with deities like Shiva and Buddha often depicted together in art. Gandhara's culture was a rich tapestry woven from indigenous traditions and foreign influences. The region's society was cosmopolitan, with a mix of ethnic groups, including Persians, Greeks, Scythians, Parthians, and Indians. This diversity is reflected in Gandhara's art, architecture, and daily life. The Gandharan people were known for their intellectual pursuits, with a strong emphasis on education and scholarship. Monasteries and universities, such as the famous Taxila University, attracted students and scholars from across Asia. These institutions were centers of learning in subjects like philosophy, medicine, astronomy, and linguistics. Festivals, music, and dance were integral to Gandharan culture, often tied to religious and seasonal events. The region's cuisine, clothing, and social customs also reflected its multicultural heritage. Gandhara was a multilingual society, with several languages and scripts in use over its history. In the early Vedic period, Sanskrit was the primary language, used for religious and literary purposes. During the Achaemenid and Hellenistic periods, Persian and Greek were introduced, leaving their mark on the region's linguistic landscape. The Gandhari language, a Prakrit dialect written in the Kharosthi script, became the lingua franca of the region during the Kushan period. It was widely used for administrative, religious, and literary purposes. Buddhist texts, such as the Gandharan Buddhist manuscripts, are among the oldest surviving Buddhist writings and provide valuable insights into early Buddhist thought. Sanskrit and Pali also remained important, particularly in religious and scholarly contexts. The coexistence of multiple languages and scripts highlights Gandhara's role as a cultural bridge between the East and the West. Gandhara's strategic location at the crossroads of major trade routes, including the Silk Road, made it a thriving center of commerce. The region connected the Indian subcontinent with Central Asia, the Middle East, and the Mediterranean, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. Key exports from Gandhara included textiles, spices, precious stones, and ivory. The region also served as a conduit for the trade of Chinese silk, Roman glassware, and Central Asian horses. The Kushan Empire's control over these trade routes brought immense wealth to Gandhara, enabling the construction of monumental architecture and the patronage of the arts. Urban centers like Taxila and Pushkalavati were bustling hubs of trade and industry, with markets, workshops, and caravanserais catering to merchants and travelers. The prosperity of Gandhara's trade networks also contributed to the spread of religious and cultural ideas, particularly Buddhism. Gandhara is perhaps best known for its distinctive art style, which emerged during the Kushan period and is often referred to as Greco-Buddhist art. This unique style combined Hellenistic artistic techniques with Buddhist themes, resulting in some of the earliest anthropomorphic representations of the Buddha. Gandharan sculptures are characterized by their realistic portrayal of human figures, intricate drapery, and serene facial expressions. The Buddha was often depicted in a standing or seated pose, with features reminiscent of Greek gods. Other common motifs included bodhisattvas, scenes from the Buddha's life, and Greco-Roman deities. In addition to sculpture, Gandhara's architecture reflected its multicultural influences. Stupas, monasteries, and temples were constructed using stone and stucco, often adorned with elaborate carvings and reliefs. The Dharmarajika Stupa in Taxila and the Bhutkara Stupa in Swat are notable examples of Gandharan architecture. Agriculture was the backbone of Gandhara's economy, with the region's fertile plains and river valleys supporting a variety of crops. The Indus River and its tributaries provided ample water for irrigation, enabling the cultivation of wheat, barley, rice, and pulses. Fruits such as grapes, pomegranates, and apricots were also grown, reflecting the region's diverse climate. Farming techniques in Gandhara were advanced for their time, with the use of iron tools, crop rotation, and irrigation systems. The region's agricultural surplus supported its urban centers and trade networks, contributing to its overall prosperity. Livestock farming was another important aspect of Gandhara's agrarian economy, with cattle, sheep, and goats being raised for meat, milk, and wool. The region's pastoralists played a vital role in supplying goods for trade and transportation. The Gandhara Civilization left an indelible mark on the cultural and historical landscape of South Asia and beyond. Its contributions to art, religion, and governance continue to be studied and admired by scholars and enthusiasts alike. The region's role as a cultural bridge between the East and the West underscores its significance in the ancient world. Gandhara's legacy is particularly evident in the spread of Buddhism, which owes much to the region's monasteries, scholars, and artists. The Greco-Buddhist art style influenced artistic traditions across Asia, from Afghanistan to China and Japan. The region's multicultural heritage serves as a testament to the power of cultural exchange and coexistence. In conclusion, the Gandhara Civilization stands as a shining example of how diverse influences can come together to create a rich and vibrant cultural tapestry. Its achievements in governance, religion, art, and trade continue to inspire and inform our understanding of the ancient world.